On this episode of Punk's Talk Wrestling, we review what the hell happened at WWE Payback, how everyone got everyone over, and what Pittsburgh and Cody Rhodes have in common. I'm RW Hellborn, one half of your Punk's Talk Wrestling tag team hosts, hailing quote-unquote from Philly, and as always by my side, 3,500 miles away, my tag team podcast partner, the one true crown jewel of London, England, the proper prick CJ Newman!
I was expecting the crown jewel bit. My fact of shit.
Gotcha.
Did you know that Kelly once defended the World Heavyweight Championship?
Another thing I didn't know.
Yeah, that happened. It was Kelly with Edge against Layla and Michelle McCool and Dolph Ziggler, and the world title was on the line, and she won that match. Therefore, she defended and successfully retained the World Heavyweight Championship. So there's your fact. Do with that whatever you want.
We'll have to go do a deep dive into some of those oddball title defense matches that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them.
Really
Brian
knows.
Kendrick was the WWE Championship. He wasn't the championship.
Brian Kendrick was the WWE Championship for a while.
He was the WWE Champion for like 5 minutes.
You could probably wrap Brian Kendrick around Roman Reigns'
Yeah, like
waist.
some of like Big Show's waist or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wear him. Just sling him over your shoulder.
Wait, Brian Kendrick? No, rewind. Let's just rewind a second.
Yeah.
When
Did
this happen?
He was you're getting rid of my good fact here, but here we go. He was in a championship scramble match. So whenever you pin someone, you're the champion, and whoever's the champion at the end of like 20 minutes, right?
Which I love.
They're great. They haven't done one of those in ages.
Scramble.
But there was a WWE a championship one on SmackDown years ago, and he was one of the people in that match, and he pinned someone. So for like 5 minutes there, he was the WWE champion. In all technicality.
Well, he was.
It won't be on the history.
He was. Well, this is something we definitely want to deep dive into, because these are the deep dive into the rules of the WWE universe.
There is a graphic up there, like a graphic. There's a still from that episode of SmackDown, because when this scramble match was happening, whenever someone would get a successful pin, it would come up with the bar at the bottom, and it says new WWE championship. Why do I keep saying championship? New WWE champion Brian Kendrick.
I want to see how WWE rules that, as far as
They definitely don't put it as a title, but he
right. It's not a title reign that lasted a minute. We're gonna deep dive into the rules and lore of the WWE universe, because
there is loads of.
Was he actual a champion?
Well, that's the thing, and there's loads of things as well where it's like people like won championships but at house shows back in like the 70s, and it never counted.
Oh well, yeah, that goes
stuff.
Back to the.
It's like the Rockers. The Rockers won the tag team titles, but didn't actually win the tag team titles.
And that goes back to the dispute of Ric Flair being, they call him the 16-time champion, but really him and Dusty Rhodes passed the title back and forth. Him and Harley Race passed the title back and forth a couple times, and those weren't considered title run. They weren't considered title runs, because it happened on a house show, and then the next night it changed back, and
Yeah, but Kelly still did defend the world title.
Those are contentious things in the world of professional wrestling, because how you view them can really determine what kind of fan you are.
It's true.
Like there's a lot of things that define us as wrestling fans, and our interpretations of the rules and things like that can really
define us as fans.
Yeah, they define us as fans.
Yeah.
And as fans of professional wrestling, we are here to talk about professional wrestling. That is what Punk's Talk Wrestling is.
It's Punk's talking about wrestling.
And as you know, we are talking about not Fastlane. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I was
one whole month ahead of yourself. Yeah.
One whole month. We're talking about Payback. I thought that was a long, unnecessary pause. I did. I was clicking back in my browser.
I was waiting for you to say something.
I was like frantically clicking back on my browser to get back to the pay-per-view that we were on. I'm like, no man, I just said it a minute ago in the intro. It's on my intro.
Payback.
It's on my intro sheet. Just read what. That's how quickly.
I could have helped you, but I just decided not to.
You could have.
Yeah.
You just.
Yeah.
But we certainly helped each other have a good time watching this pay-per-view.
That's right. Yes, we
Wait,
did.
that came out real bad. Let's just get into the pay-per-view. Let's get the premium live event. God, usually it falls apart at some point.
It does, but those are the best moments.
Sometimes they kind of are. Yeah, they kind of are.
Oh shoot!
Payback 2023. Let's go. There was no kickoff show, right?
No kickoff.
No.
Well, there probably was, but no pre-show match or anything like that.
There was no pre-show. Yeah, there was no pre-show match. It was just the announcement that John Cena would be the special guest referee between LA Knight and The Miz.
Yeah, which is cool. But
before we get into that, just so that, as we're going through this, I don't have listed where the segments are. I only have the matches in order, but I think we need to talk about each of those segments individually too.
Yeah.
In the matches, because damn, they were so good. Everything was great about that. So anyway, let's start it off right away from the get-go.
Can we just say that it took me about 4 times to hear the name of this arena before I really understood what the hell they were saying.
Oh yeah. Let's give everybody the details.
It was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the PPG Paints Arena.
It is called the PPG Paints Arena.
Yeah,
yes,
that's probably a badly named, one of the worst named arenas I've heard. But hey, here we are. I guess PPG Paints is a paint company in the States.
I guess it is.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm not familiar with that. You know, I'll have to talk to my paint guy and see if but obviously they must be a big enough company to buy an arena.
Yeah.
But that's what happens with all these. I mean, we've got that places that they change names every couple of years. Somebody new buys it. It'll be something else in a couple of years.
We had the attendance of 14,584 people. That place was rammo. It was even the hard cam size where they normally put the hard camera. It was just like full. Yeah,
that's 14.5, and that's a 14.5. Like that place was packed.
Yeah, that place was.
They crammed him in. It was a good look.
Yeah.
It was definitely a good look.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
there were definitely no covered sections.
No, hell no, no way. You know what? My first note of this. Just before we get into the actual match, I don't know why, but immediately my first note says this premium live event has a different vibe about it, and I can't put my finger on why.
Yeah, there was a little bit. Well, I think it again comes down to what we're expecting from the production and what we're getting in the matches.
Yeah.
What we got as far as. It felt like it actually felt like a bigger premium live event.
Yeah.
Than it normally than the event following SummerSlam.
You know what I think it is the fact that honestly, solidly this year, WWE have killed it for premium live events. Because obviously I can't remember the one in Puerto Rico. The Backlash was in Puerto Rico. Like even that one felt huge because obviously it was in Puerto Rico.
God,
and then Money in the Bank was in London, and like every pay-per-view or PLE this year has felt a bit bigger than usual. And this was obviously your more standard quote unquote throwaway PLE, but it definitely had that vibe to it. I don't know, it had a bigger vibe to it.
I think they're putting a lot more now that it might be after the sale.
Maybe
it might be that because there's just some new people. There's more people with I don't know what involved. It does look like they've increased their production value across the board.
Yeah.
With everything they're doing.
Yeah.
The video packages. I mean, we'll talk about that Shinsuke intro package.
Yeah.
That was. But yeah, you're right. There's something that. But here is something that. When you say it just felt a little different, there was zero bloodline in this PLE.
You're right. This is probably the first bloodline-less pay-per-view in 3 years, actually.
Yeah.
When you come to think of it.
Yep.
That's nuts.
So why don't we get in now that we got all the details? Let's just
Well, first match let's
just dig right back
Trish
in.
Stratus versus Becky Lynch in the cage match.
Oh, there was so much amazing.
I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not saying that, this match blew me away way more than I thought it was gonna. I did actually. In fact, I wasn't even looking forward to this match. It was one of those matches on the card where I was like, I'm not expecting much from it. I think part of that was probably the fact that like we've got Trish in this kind of different stage of her career, and I just didn't know. Well, I was proven wrong basically. I didn't. She really gave a hell of a performance in this match.
Yeah, I didn't know until Corey Graves mentioned it that this was her first
cage match.
The only time she was in a steel cage match. Makes sense. They really weren't doing those with women back then.
Well, they made a nod. Well, they made a nod to it in the match because Trish Stratus did the Widow's Peak by Victoria, and Becky did the Twist of Fate by Lita, and they made reference. They said that was the first ever women's cage match. I'm not sure what year, but
that's right.
Yeah, that was the first ever women's cage match. It was Victoria versus Lita.
That makes sense. Yeah. There is so much about that match that I was just like you said, I wasn't sure what to expect. Right. I was blown away. It far exceeded everything.
Yeah, big time.
Putting it at the front of the card, you know how we feel about the first, the first match of the card is like the first song of your set.
Yeah.
You've got
first song of the album.
Hook everybody. It's not the main event. It's the second best. It should be the second best match of the night.
For sure. It should be. It's the one that you're kind of trying to get everyone's attention with.
Yeah. The level of intensity that they both put into it.
Yeah.
The amount of things that they accomplished in that match, showing Trish getting to show herself in this light, getting whatever the hell happened with that giant bruise on her
Jesus
on
Christ,
her forehead.
Yeah, that bump.
I mean,
man.
I think she totally.
Well, she was getting her face slammed against that cage by Becky, and I mean
that's when it happened. I went back and watched to see.
It seems like she legitimately was getting her face banged against the cage.
Oh yeah, like it was brutal, and you could see like that weird like that recognition on Trish, and they were able to pull it. They were able to pull it into that storyline about how she should have been still wearing that face protection. Yeah. It was so good to see him go all out with that. Use everything they could. Once again, high praise goes to Zoe Stark and her involvement and how they tied that story together.
Yeah.
It seems like they tied a huge bow on this obviously should be the end of Becky versus Trish storyline.
Do you reckon it's the end of Trish, or do you reckon there's going to be more to come from her?
I don't know. I think we could get a Trish Zoe Stark angle. We could get at least one of those matches.
Yeah.
I know we don't really talk much when we're doing these. We don't talk much about the actual events of the match because somebody might not have seen it.
Yeah,
we want people to go and see the matches too.
Yeah.
So try not to put as many spoilers. This is not a spoiler podcast. This is just we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So the stories that they told for each one of them, Becky got put over by Trish.
Yeah.
Zoe got put over by Becky and Trish.
Yeah.
Like everybody came out of that match on top.
Yeah, big time.
It was so well done. Every part of it.
Yeah, and Zoe, Zoe, when she came up to the main roster, like crowd reaction was kind of tame, but at this point, now people are like reacting to her, and that's only by a few weeks.
Once again, it was give it a little more weeks. And I'm gonna throw this out there as one of my hot takes.
Okay.
I still believe 100% that the bumping their match from SummerSlam was 100% intentional.
Yeah.
It was always they planned to bump that match, and so that the backlash, the backlash of it, or just it got everyone talking about it immediately.
Yeah.
It got everybody irate about it. It forced it, and it worked. It worked so well. It forced you to look at it even closer and be like, they got robbed from their, from SummerSlam. I'm like, no, like we said before, if they were on SummerSlam, they would have had 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Yeah, why would you want that?
Now that in the middle, it would have been throwaway. It would have been forgettable. Now they got to cap it off with a 20-minute steel cage match that put everybody over.
Exactly.
There's no way you can say that extending that storyline didn't benefit them, and I just truly believe with how deep they love to write and work, and how well they know how to work their audience.
Yeah.
I would need Triple H himself to look me in the eye and tell me that I'm wrong. But I'm putting that down. I'm putting that down on the check of hot takes.
Yeah.
This was planned and it worked.
Yeah. And I will say, like,
beautiful.
I've never been, I appreciate everything that Trish Stratus has done for the business and WWE.
I love Trish.
I've never been the biggest fan of her. Like, it's just a, not to say I don't like her. I just didn't speak to me. But this is definitely her. For me, it was like one of the best matches I think I've ever seen her in. To be honest with you, it definitely caught my eye. So.
And when you were watching her, I mean, again, you and I have a pretty big age difference.
Yeah.
In that respect, so it's like you were seeing her at a different time of your life.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, I always recognized Trish as a top superstar in WWE. It was obvious. It was
But she's another one that I've seen. I remember her debut when she was with TNA, with not the company, but as in Test and Albert. She was their manager.
Yes.
I remember her coming in with them and then having a wrestling career and retiring and coming back, and so it's another. Like we were talking about this last week about seeing someone's full career. Like that's another person right there. I've seen their entire career, which kind of nuts.
Yeah, exactly, and what an amazing career.
Oh,
if this happens to be Trish's last match, I doubt it would be, because
I think it'd be
because everybody wants to see more now.
Yeah,
everybody needs to see more.
I think it'd be great to see her go out at WrestleMania if she's going to go out at all.
I think I could 100% see an angle with her, like her and Zoe Stark now, to give more time, have her work more with this younger talent. It's obvious that it works.
And we've still got the whole Lita stuff to go back on, because don't forget Becky was partners with Lita.
Lita went out on an injury.
That's
so
right.
Who knows what that can also
I mean, who knows? We might get a double retirement match between Lita and Trish or something. And
very well could.
Yeah, who knows?
But what we got next after that match was we got John Cena running to the ring.
Oh yeah, we did.
For once again, some people don't like the time that they spend on segments like this. I have friends that are just vehemently against all that stuff, but I find it entertaining. And
it depends who it is, and if it's
of course it depends on who it is. But it's John Cena.
We watched the Payback event from 2016 a few weeks ago, and we saw a talking segment in the ring. That was a waste of time. This was not a waste of time.
Yes, and hopefully, and I think they learned from that back. I hope they have all learned from that. Yeah, that segment was a colossal waste of time, but it was because of who it was.
Yeah.
And what they were what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly.
This was definitely not a waste of time. This was
straight away.
This was a good sparring, a good verbal sparring.
The good thing, like Miz and Cena have literally been at each other's throats for about since WrestleMania 29. So, 11, 12 years that they've had this rivalry, basically. And they've crossed over a whole bunch. And we had even to a few years ago, we had the Miz and Maurice versus Nikki Bella and Cena. Like, they keep crossing over. And it's great to see them crossing over again. They've just got good chemistry with each other, man.
Absolutely. They know, and neither one of them shy away from barbs from each other.
No, they go for the jugular in each other, and it's great. They've always done that as well.
Yeah, and there's nobody better. The Miz is amazing with a microphone.
Yeah.
The Miz is so amazing at making you wanna see him get punched in the face. That is what he does.
Yeah.
And they're and then Cena playing off of, and then the whole, just their whole interaction, and watching Cena rile up Miz, and it turned into like, this could be another one of those, Cena, everybody, Cena's taking up other people's airtime. No, he's not. This is part of the story, and it was a great part.
It was
a
good way to add him into, like, one thing I don't ever really get into with any wrestling show is when someone is made a host, because I'm always like, what? Yeah,
I was pretty meh about it for a time
but
too.
It's good when you put them to good use in some way like this. It's like, okay. But the thing is, he was in this match as a special guest referee, but even Corey Graves at one point said something, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. You know how they always say with a referee is like, their job is to be not, you're meant to just not notice them, that they're there at all. And
and he's like, I forgot.
I forgot that Cena was even a special, and he's right, because for a bit it was John Cena, one of the most famous wrestlers of all time, and I forgot that he was the special referee of this match.
Yeah, you really did, because he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yes, exactly.
He knows it. They worked well. They worked so well together, and you forgot about it until a pinfall came, and he was really in the frame, or until each one of them accidentally almost hit,
broke a 5 count Cena, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or when the what was it, like Irish Whip or whatever, Cena threw LA Knight and in towards Cena, and he reversed it. They both almost ran into Cena, and he was ready to punch the Miz, and then he almost was ready to, like, you got to stare down with Cena
LA Knight,
and LA Knight. Even at the end, couple things. Because I only had this on my note. Cena, there was some at the end of the match where Cena went outside after the match was over, and Cena went to the outside of the ring, and he said something to the Miz, like he leaned over, like Miz was still on the floor.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Out of the ring on the floor.
Yeah.
And Cena said something, like, I guess they were talking about something.
Yeah.
But like you could clearly see him talking to the Miz, and then like giving him a hand up.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was about.
Oh, okay,
that was just kind of interesting.
But the big thing out. Go on. Yeah.
No, you go ahead.
But the big thing out of this is what we were talking about earlier, about people needing to be a bit patient about people's pushes, and I feel like we bring up LA Knight every week with this example, because everyone's so eager for him to get pushed. Obviously, not so much the result of the match for him, but more so the fact that at the very end, I mean, I know Cena was the special ref, but him and Cena have a stare down at the end, on the top of the ramp. Cena takes his referee shirt off, and it's a bit of a stare down.
Yeah,
and Cena,
it's a hey man, remember I can still go.
Exactly, but Cena raises his hand, and like, my notes literally put, Cena raised his hand. See, he's still getting a push.
Yeah, exactly.
Be patient.
It is. You have LA Knight standing next to, shoulder to shoulder, one of the great. They started calling him the GOAT, and I don't know if he's there yet, but
Yeah, didn't they announce him as that when he came out?
They did.
Yeah,
that
weirded me out. I was like, that's a weird thing to say.
It's a weird thing for them to say.
Yeah.
But hey, It's not necessarily. I can't really say they're necessarily wrong.
Yeah, I think it's just. I mean, one of the. That's a totally that's an opinion thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of, but
and it's
you don't
so
have
hard to say that
it.
someone is the greatest of all time because for me that's like everyone always says, "Oh, what's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?" Right?
I think it was like, and I think it was just the way they said it because it sounded like they were saying it as a forced thing. Like
so matter of fact, like it's a proper known thing,
Yeah, but bottom line. Everybody looks good. Once again, everybody looks good.
Yes,
Everybody came out of that match hotter than they were.
Yeah.
You still hate the Miz. You still want to see him push. It doesn't the outcome of the match has no effect on the Miz.
Yeah.
He's just going to be mad about
the
something. He can come back out and be mad about anything else.
The Miz can lose for a year straight and then win the world title.
Yeah,
because he's such a Weasley heel that you can get away with that.
I mean, it would be great. It would be great to see an LA Knight Miz feud pop up again once once LA Knight's got a title around his waist.
Yeah, for sure.
That could certainly happen.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna call that now John Cena and LA Knight at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I see, like, unless something else, this is foreshadowing of something.
Yeah, they didn't do that for no reason. Let's put it that way.
They didn't do it for They didn't do it for no reason. They did it for a reason.
If they keep pushing,
even if the red herring,
if they keep pushing LA Knight the way they have been all the way up until April next year, then
it's as simple.
It's a solid setup.
It's as simple as, and you don't have to be. It doesn't have to be heel or face anything. It can simply be, L.A. Knight is he wants to test himself on the greatest stage of them all against the supposed greatest of all time. And see how he goes. That's gonna be the rub.
Yeah.
Just like Cena did with Miz.
Yeah,
he's gonna get his WrestleMania moment.
Yeah,
why not?
Cena did it with Theory, just gone as well.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
Speaking of,
Theory. Speaking of,
Look at that segue.
Speaking of what happens when you try to push someone a little too fast, then everybody gets mad because you got to pull them back.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah. But good. I mean, hey, good on Austin Theory for continuing to stay in the picture.
He's still relevant. I still enjoy him. They've definitely pulled the reins back on him a little bit. I don't think he was. The thing is, he's so damn young, man. He is. He's exactly. Got so much ahead of him. He's so damn young.
I think what we saw. I think it's not the match. It was really SmackDown.
Yeah.
And their interview is. We're going to see an Austin Theory, Grayson Waller tag team.
Yeah, and I'm all into that as well. By the way,
I'm all into that because they're two
obnoxious
young dudes, good-looking, obnoxious douchebag dudes.
Yeah,
that are going to be great together.
Yeah,
So let's just talk about this match. Solid 9 minutes and 45 seconds of high quality, solid. Cruiserweight level, it's Rey Mysterio. It's a great match. There's never been.
I say this this is in my notes every single time that I see a modern day Rey Mysterio match, and I'm like, how is Rey Mysterio performing at this high of a level at the age of 48, and also considering the style of wrestling that he does as well. He
is still as amazing as he's ever been.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't know how he's doing it. And the thing is, like, because he had a bit of a period there where he got a bit, I guess he got a bit out of shape. I think his knees weren't doing too good. And he obviously wasn't in the WWE for a while. In fact, I went to a Revolution Pro Wrestling show here in London at York Hall about, I don't know, whenever it was that he wasn't around 2017, and he was wrestling there. And at that point, we're talking 2017, I don't know what, that's 6 years ago or so. Mm-hmm. And in that match, the match was really short. It didn't seem like he was on his A game, and it felt like his career was dwindling. You know, it was like, I've done my WWE run, and now it's time for me to do some indies while my career winds down. And now, like, he gets healthier, gets in really good shape. He's back in the WWE, and now he's back at an elite form, like coming up to the age of 50. It's just crazy.
And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with bringing up Dominic too.
Yeah.
Into like, he, it's one of those things like, well, shit, I gotta be on the top of my game if I want to help my son. Be realistic with this. I have to be on the top of my game so I can be a support in the storylines that need to happen.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio, the character, needs to be at top form for this to work.
Yeah.
If all of that shit, and I love seeing it. You know me, I am a huge Rey Mysterio mark. He is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I went to the first Calmania in New York
with my Rey
Mysterio mask on. Yeah, I'm on. You can find me on the video. I'm on stage with that.
One quick note is Corey Grave he said Rey Mysterio is one of the worst fathers to ever reproduce, and I thought that was a great line.
Oh man, yeah, it's so, but it's also it's so that angle is so kind of, they really tread on it an interesting way.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, they went a little overboard at the one thing, like they're saying something about, like, they can go a little overboard. So I won't even mention it, but the overarching, like, the fact that Dom is so angry with his father for being, the deadbeat dad thing about him, because the whole crux of it was he was never there for Dom. He was always on the road. He was always wrestling. He was always somewhere else. He was always this, that, the other. So it's such a complex story because you never see that. You don't have a father-son story angle.
No, it's like
you've had a few. I mean, you barely had.
Well, the only time you've ever had it outside of the Mysterios is Vince and Shane. That's literally it.
Yeah, you had Vince and Shane, but they're not real.
They're wrestlers.
They're not actual wrestlers.
Yeah, this is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time.
There was a little bit of obviously there was involvement with, like, Bob Orton and Randy Orton. There's Ric Flair with Charlotte.
I guess, but this is the first time with two main roster
they actually
active
faced
wrestlers.
each other.
Yeah,
they actually faced each other. Bob Orton never fought Randy Orton in our WWE ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's never been a father and son match.
Yeah.
There's never been a father and son tag team.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So they got to
tag team champions.
Tag team champions.
Yeah,
exactly. So that right there was, I mean, Ray had to be at top of his game because otherwise you just can't do this thing that will, there may never be another one.
Who knows?
But great, but absolutely phenomenal match. Like, everything about that match was fantastic.
I love the ending, like, and the strength of Theory to, like, because he kind of landed on Theory's knees and then he kind of hoisted him up into his shoulders and lift, like, I don't know how that's crazy.
And there are some people that are critical about the LWO resurgence, but I love it.
I love it
because it's doing everything it's supposed to be doing.
Okay, here's my hot take, but I got a little prediction.
Yeah.
I'll let you. Yeah, if you want to hear it right now, I'll give it to you.
Okay, I do.
So I believe Santos Escobar, I mean, obviously he was taken out of the match that he was meant to be in with Austin Theory, right? And obviously Ray won the title. We've seen little looks here and there from Santos. He's like giving those little kind of like preemptive heel turn looks towards the championship.
Oh yeah.
But what I'd love to see, I mean, it might be a little further down the line, but I don't want to see the Judgment Day break up anytime soon. I think it's the best thing going right now. But
absolutely,
I would love to see, obviously, the resurgence of Ray versus Dom, but then Dominic Mysterio become the new leader of the LWO at some point.
Oh, interesting.
And take it from his dad. So then the faction becomes a heel faction.
That would be, and that would be pretty damn interesting.
Yeah, and I think it would benefit the LWO as well to become I feel like there's more success There's more
we could
there's
see
more
something-
championship success within a heel faction than there is a face faction, actually.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
As we, you know, as
we're about to
we'll
see.
get to, as we're about to get to,
Yeah.
because up next, whew,
I
holy
love this match so bad.
shit.
It was so much fun.
One, I don't know that I knew that it was going to be a street fight until
Steel City
it
street
started.
fight.
Yeah. And I might have just missed it. I don't know if they, you know, they could have announced it on Raw or on SmackDown.
I think they
the night
did,
before.
but
I don't know.
even still.
I didn't know it was street fight. So I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to not go. Well, I was definitely expecting it to go a different way.
Yeah.
For sure. What I'll say as always with stuff like this, they did it. When you've got shenanigans, you got to do shenanigans right.
That's right.
And goddamn, did they do shenanigans right? They have taken the cue. I mean, they're essentially pulling. They're the new bloodline, while the bloodline is not the bloodline. They've learned all the tactics are exactly the same.
Yep.
And what do I love about WWE doing something good is when they do it again. Yeah. They're giving us all exactly the same thing with different characters. It's a slightly different take.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of but
it's the same but
story.
different. But
It's the same but different.
Because it's the same,
at
but
its
then you've
core.
got the obviously the gimmick difference is good. You've got the Money in the Bank situation, which is good. You've got Devlin, who's like that is he, isn't he kind of guy.
Yeah, but he's the Sami Zayn outsider trying to get in.
By the way, something blew my mind the other day.
Yeah?
I
Was
say
it wrestling?
Devlin, sorry,
'Cause-
because his name's not Devlin. That was his old name. It's J.D. McDonough, right?
Yes.
What's his initials?
Oh, his initials are JD, Judgment Day.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Did we?
We talked about this offline.
All
Yeah,
right,
we
okay,
we made a quick comment, I think, about it. But yeah, it would be a little hokey,
Yeah.
but I'll 100% buy it. If they somehow turn this angle into a JD McDonough, the JD was for Judgment Day. You know, however they turn this angle, I can see a seed of it working. They just have to do it right.
Yeah. It could be a throwaway comment. He could pitch his reasons. He could list a whole bunch of reasons to be in the Judgment Day, valid ones, and the very last one he makes is like, plus my initials are JD. So
yeah, there could be he was, you know, there could be the secret. He was the mastermind of it all from the beginning.
Oh my god!
You know, they could go.
But it was me, Austin, me all along, kind of.
It was it was me, Finn. It was me all along. They could go with JD somehow turns on Finn. They could go with JD turning on Damian. They could go, you know.
By the way, I will
cause
say
this.
we were talking about this when we started the pod like over a month ago, and I called that JD would get involved.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We talked about this well before he even showed up.
That's right. So hell yeah.
You made the mention of, but you there's something else happened with him, I guess, on NXT or something.
Someone's listening, man.
Someone's
listening.
Someone's listening. Yeah, they definitely were listening. Or maybe it was when he got drafted. But it was brought up that he was trained by Finn.
Yeah.
And so of course they're going to bring them together.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's talk. Let's give him his due on that brutal looking bump on the table.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ.
Oh god, the cringes and the like the shock backs that the front row had, and Corey Graves just shouting, "He's dead." He's just like he's dead. Oh, it looked. I played it for my wife. When I was rewatching it, and I'm like, "Stop! You got to look at how bad this looks." And she's like, "Oh my god!" She cringed and turned away.
I freaking love this match, man. It's one of those matches where I got finished with it, and I was like, I want to watch it again. Like it was fun.
Everything.
It was so much fun.
The camera. The other things that I will comment on that not just all the work. this comes in the production because the camera angles, the cues for where the cameraman needed to be for all of those spots that they did.
Yeah.
And to have all those angles from the run-in, all the run-ins you never saw coming.
Yeah.
But they had an alternate camera angle that caught some of them when they replayed them, which I loved seeing.
Yeah.
They
had a great shot of Owens doing the senton from right below him as well.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw that, of course, that was like blatantly, this was a blatant spot that they had planned.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But come on, guys. I love it. I love to see it. It's great in the packages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. It's what you need.
Plus
the swap into the hockey gear was great as well.
That swap, I watched that about 7 times.
I don't know what happened to Owens though, because he appeared with a crimson mask, and I was like, "What?"
No,
what
I think he got busted open.
Yeah,
I think he busted open when they threw him over.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever happened during that minute, or whatever.
Something
I think
happened.
he busted open, and he probably didn't start bleeding until he had to
get changed.
Change his
Yeah.
He could. I mean, who knows? Sami Zayn might have hit him with a hockey stick when they were trying to put on jerseys, ducked behind the penalty box. But just the cleverness of that spot.
Yeah, it was great. It was so
yeah,
much fun,
it's
man.
totally it's totally pandering. Yes, it's totally hokey. That's what we want.
Yeah.
It got the pop. It was wonderful.
This is probably the match of the night that the crowd were most hot for. They were well into this match. And
the ending was just chef's kiss. Everything about it.
Another thing was great when at the start of the match when they pulled out that bucket and it had the towels of the hockey team, and Finn Balor stomped on them for a brief second there. Because Corey Graves is from Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah,
from Pittsburgh.
Corey was getting a little hot about that.
He had a brief face turn because he was because Finn got attacked just after that, and he was happy that Finn got attacked.
It's like you got what you deserved for that one, or something.
I like that.
Corey Graves is beautiful at that, and he learned. He learned that from Michael Cole. Michael Cole is also. They've all got those. JBL had it.
Yeah.
Booker T on commentary.
I really like
that
Corey and
that idea.
Yeah, I like Corey and Michael doing the pay-per-views. It's just because they kind of basically get one guy from each show essentially, and I love that. I love a commentator that has that you're definitively you're a heel commentator. Yeah.
And Corey is kind of a heel at times.
Yeah.
But he's such a brilliant heel. But he also has. They all have that way of turning off their heel persona or turning off.
They were more
against someone else. Like Michael Cole is a. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Corey Graves is. Well, any heel commentator is a heel with a moral compass.
Yes.
So they're a heel, but when someone does something really gross, dastardly, they're like, okay, that was too far.
Yeah, they don't like the things that they don't like.
Yeah.
But I think was it Michael Cole that just hated. I forget who it was. It was either Daniel Bryan or somebody else. There was one guy that Michael Cole, even as a face, and I remember that I can't remember who it was, but I remember distinctly being entertained by that when they would break their own character to be against someone else.
One person. Yeah.
Just and it's just that person because it makes them real for a
makes
second.
Makes them human.
Oh man, he just doesn't like that guy for whatever reason. He just doesn't like it. He doesn't like that guy, and I don't care if I'm supposed to be a good guy.
He just doesn't like
that
him.
Fuck that guy that I don't like for my own personal reasons. I love it. I love this. I love great commentary work. Again, that's part of that production.
Exactly.
If you've got dead weight on, don't give dead weight microphones.
Speaking of commentary, I don't know what's going on with my WWE network, but every time I turn on the network and put on anything, it's Spanish.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what's
default?
going. Yeah, I need to go and check my settings. I don't know what's happened.
I know.
But yeah, I don't know if you've ever listened to the Spanish commentary before, but Go check it
Every
out.
once in a while, I do.
Just dip in.
Like, just for fun.
Yeah.
Like I'll go back to a pay-per-view I've seen.
Loads
again. I'll just watch
loads
it in
of rolling
Spanish.
R's.
I'll
I
watch
heard
it in
them
French.
say Raquel
Yeah.
Rodriguez's name, and it was a lot of fun.
To be honest, if I wanted to learn any language, I could probably easily just learn it by watching watching WWE.
You could just decipher what
languages.
they're saying by just joining words together.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, match.
And match it. Yeah. Back to the pay-per-view. Now we get a little bit extra Judgment Day. We get to see Mommy do what she does best. And that's dominate.
Oh, before we get to that though, I just want to say real quick.
Yeah.
Seeing the Judgment Day with all of those championship titles, 6 of them, by the way.
Oh, it's such a beautiful sight.
And the Money in the Bank.
Spoiler alert.
I guess. Well, too
spoiler
late
alert,
now,
but we try not. No one's listening.
I mean, we'd already put it on our Instagram. By the way, you can follow us on Instagram now. You
can.
You guessed it. Punks Talk Wrestling at Punks Talk Wrestling. We're already at 28 followers.
Yeah,
we've only been on there like 3 days, 2 days, 3 days.
That's not bad.
It's pretty good.
I'll take it.
So, but yeah, I mean, this the visual of them with all the gold. I mean, they are literally one cash in away from having everything nearly kind of.
Yeah.
Because obviously Dominic's the
and
North
more
American champion.
and more because he's got an NXT title that doesn't even belong there.
Yeah, exactly. I have heard Dominic on social media say that, he finds it funny that his dad had to copy him to get a United States Championship, but the thing is, he's the champion of his dad because North America obviously involves Canada as well.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, so let's get to what was next?
So Grayson Waller effect with Cody
Grayson
Rhodes.
Waller effect. Yeah. Yeah, this was another one of those. I wasn't sure what we were gonna get out of that. I'm like, I don't really know how much I care about a Cody Rhodes.
What's your take on Grayson Waller?
I love him.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely love him. I've been a fan of his since NXT.
Since I first saw him in NXT, I was like, this guy is made for the main roster.
He is made to be.
Because he's got that kind of gimmick where it's just like he'll just be perfect for them, and he is having a show like the Grayson Waller effect, and it's perfect for him.
But he's also good. He's now I know he's been doing more matches on like Superstars, and he's got dark matches and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've checked, I've looked. So he's definitely having matches, just not on Raw and SmackDown yet.
He's had a few. He had one against.
But they're giving him a lot of airtime.
He had a match against Edge.
Oh, he did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's happened a few, but it's usually hasn't it been from like the Grayson Waller effect, like he'd do a show.
Yeah,
and then
basically, kind of.
It would turn into a match later.
Pretty much.
What a great vehicle that you have to start up rivalries. Invite them on your talk show, insult them, and get them to fight you.
Yeah. So Grayson Waller at the very start of this had one of the best lines. He said to the crowd, "I've seen your reading levels, and you and my guest, neither of you can finish a story."
Oh my God, that was good.
That's
I didn't catch
a good
that.
line.
I didn't catch that one, but that was. Oh man. That's a nice little jab.
Yeah, that's a great jab.
It's smart.
It's smart. It's very smart.
It's very clever.
Yeah. I mean, it was a weird. I mean, the segment. I like the segment for what it gave us, but
absolutely,
I was just like, I don't know why Cody. I didn't get Cody Rhodes bit. I guess.
I think it was.
Cody Rhodes isn't on the card. We best put him somewhere because the crowd's going to want to see him.
and that's what it was. I think it was meant to put Cody Rhodes on the card so people can see Cody Rhodes, so they can chant, they can sing his entrance theme when he goes out, because that's what people want to do.
Yeah, it is.
That's what we want. So give us what we want. We don't and we didn't need him to have a match because he doesn't have a feud with anybody right now.
Not right now. Oh, yeah, you're right. He doesn't have a feud anymore.
And he technically still doesn't. I mean, his goals hasn't changed. His goal is to eventually get the championship match.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's still going to be his thing. He just doesn't have anybody else, in his way. And that was something I didn't actually necessarily want, because I'm like, how are you going to do a Cody Rhodes, Grayson Waller angle without quote unquote burying Grayson Waller by having Cody would have to beat Grayson. If you can't have Grayson Waller beat Cody Rhodes,
anything
it legitimizes anything that Cody Rhodes
anything
wants
Cody
to do.
gets involved in right now, he's coming out on top. Simply put,
he
has
top.
to. Even
exactly.
if he loses, like he did with Brock, he loses at first. It will come out.
It's still obstacles.
He'll might lose the battle, but he'll win the war, kind of situation.
Exactly, and that's what you can't. And that would be a bad call. That would have been a bad call. So I'm glad. I love that they swerved it.
Yeah.
The pop was enormous. No one saw it coming.
Nah.
I love even more that again. I think it was all work. I think they used the timing of his contract, the legitimacy of, because obviously those things are known to people that know him.
Yeah.
Oh, his contract's up, and he quit, and they wrote him out of the story. He's going to AEW. Something's gonna happen. I'm like, nah, man.
I mean,
just wait.
Jey Uso is definitely one of those lifers. Like there's no way.
Yeah.
He's definitely a WWE lifer.
There's no way in hell.
Yeah.
And
I am so fucking here for.
I loved it
Jey
so
Uso,
much.
Man.
Everybody got worked. Everybody got.
It's crazy.
Worked.
Like It's weird how like. Well, obviously the bloodline storyline with Sammy kind of caused this, but the crowd have really got like a sentimental kind of attachment to Jey Uso for some reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they really do. Like we really have like they've got a connection with him, which they don't have with Jimmy. Even when Jimmy was siding with his brother, like Jey was clearly getting. Now, that's not to say we've got a Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels situation going on. We do not. We've got two main eventers, I think, here, and I never thought that we'd be at this stage. I never thought. I thought Usos would always be together, and that'd be it. But we've got a situation here where they've managed to make two main eventers out of this twin tag team.
Well, let's see, because
we'll see with Jimmy.
This does pull back a little bit to SmackDown, because I did watch SmackDown, and I saw him. He faltered. They put him in the ring with John Cena, and he kind of. It was a little more lackluster. Like it wasn't. Yeah. If you watch the promo, you watch Miz and Cena at Payback.
Yeah.
They're cutting promos on each other, and then the night before, Cena and Jimmy cutting promos on each other. It was. I'm not. I don't want to criticize it for being bad. It's just very. He didn't pull it off as well. I didn't understand what he was doing. It didn't help.
Well, the problem.
It didn't do anything.
I think let's think about this for a sec. Like Jimmy's been like he's had like verbal barring with Roman Reigns before, and he feels comfortable there. That's his cousin. He's known him his whole life. He can be kind of helped through that situation in a way. But when he's in there with one of the best of all time, with John Cena, even though he must know Cena really well, being on the road with him for years, that's a different ball game. And clearly there's nerves there. I've still got belief that Jimmy.
He's great with. What's that? He's great with like he can talk smack.
Yeah.
He's great with that on the mic. But what he wasn't doing was he wasn't telling the story.
Yeah.
Like, I still didn't get any info. He said the same thing again, that he was just he was protecting his brother from becoming, and he kind of loosely like chained it into calling John Cena and Roman Reigns of the same take this all the, and it's like I don't believe what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you believe what you're saying.
But there's still time to tweak this.
There's still time to tweak this. And I need to give myself time to wait.
Exactly.
Too,
well, so the last thing I have in my notes about this segment is I think clearly what they're doing. We're going to put Jey on Raw and leave Jimmy on SmackDown. We're going to give Jey a big face push, and we're going to give Jimmy a big heel push. and they're gonna end up, and the good thing is we got now like a good 8 months to push these guys to inevitably have their match against each other at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and what better way than to separate them for months on end, build them as two single stars for a while, and then put them back together again.
We could also, or it. Well, yeah, I don't want to rush it. I definitely don't want to rush it and have it be a Survivor Series kind of thing.
Yeah,
but we may see Jimmy and Jay on opposite sides of the ring at Survivor Series.
We could have Team Jimmy versus Team Jay or something.
Well, no. I mean, they could be part of a team.
Yeah.
Team Raw. If it's a Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, they could be part of opposing teams and never actually
touch,
never actually face, never actually touch in the ring. Because when you have that many people, you could easily make it so that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, of course.
And that would be a great and now that could be a pretty solid tease.
Yeah,
that would be a good thing to see as a little like spark.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're not gonna put the two of them in a match. You're not gonna see Jimmy versus Jay until at least WrestleMania.
No, for me that's got WrestleMania written all over it. Why? You know what? I even crossed my mind earlier, and like this is really far fetched, but you never know. But hey, this is the beauty of being a wrestling fan and being able to fantasy book. I'd like to see maybe, say you had Roman Reigns versus whoever, maybe Cody Rhodes again on night 2 of WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. What if on night 1?
The night,
right,
hopefully the night will be there.
So yeah, night 1. What if you had Jimmy versus Jay, but in the main event of night 1? And the reason you make it the main event is, what if by that point, you never know. What if by that point Jey Uso is the world heavyweight champion?
Could be,
because
it very well.
Seth doesn't have to be champion by WrestleMania. There's so many people he could face.
It also it depends on the story.
Depends on the story. It depends how well Jay does as a single star as well.
And that's just one perceived thing. Jimmy versus Jay could be 2 years out.
Yeah, exactly.
They might completely keep them. They might keep them so far apart that people just stop talking about it for a while.
They could stop talking about it and then get to the point where they're clamoring for it.
They let the fans talk about it.
Yeah.
Let the fans be the ones talking about it. And speaking of fans talking about it, let's get back to what we do. Well, we haven't stopped talking about it, but let's get back to talking about the matches. Because next up we've got Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez.
That's right.
For the Women's World Championship.
Yep.
I thought it was a great match.
Yep.
Overall.
Yep.
I think everybody looked pretty strong. Raquel was pretty dominant. The outcome was 100% expected.
Yep.
For me.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad they got a lot of time. When you look at it, they gave those to 17 minutes, so over 17.
Yeah, it's
minutes.
maybe the third longest match of the night or so, maybe.
It was the fourth. It was fourth. Because Judgment Day, the tag match and the main event. Becky and Trish was 20 minutes. Judgment Day was 20 minutes and 45 seconds, and the main event was 26 minutes.
Okay, cool.
But both women's matches, 20 minutes, 40 minutes.
40 minutes of women's wrestling.
40 minutes, almost a third of. If you take into account the time spent on the other events, probably a third of the wrestling was the women's matches.
Yeah, and that's great.
Great,
What I liked about this match is and obviously we've seen them face each other in NXT before, but it's something that women's wrestling has never seen, and that is obviously by that there's. Men's wrestling has always had that Big Show versus Kane, or Braun Strowman versus
the immovable force versus
the big guy matches, right?
Inanimate object.
And women's wrestling has never really been able to have that dynamic, but they finally get to have that.
Not much in the WWE.
Not much in the WWE.
Not often in the WWE.
Yeah. So you've never really, China never had anyone matching up to her size back when she was around.
Right.
So, but now, and even when Nia Jax was around, you never really had anyone on the main roster that could really match.
And it wasn't just it wasn't size. It's not just size, height and everything. It is the
strength as well.
The strength and the way it's the work that they did.
Yeah,
It's the move sets that they use.
Yeah.
It's a power versus power.
I think that's what I mean. Thing. Like size is it's comparative in the sense that when
it's usually a David Goliath with either of them.
Yeah, when you put them up against any other women on the roster, like they always kind of outmatch them by short, by muscle mass. Like they're both huge, strong women.
But you have to have that. Any dominant performer. Yeah. Any dominant wrestler for whatever way they are dominant, has to have a foil that question. It's the one thing that they've got.
Yeah.
And here comes somebody who says they're better at the one thing that makes you better than everybody else. I'm saying I'm better than you at.
Yeah.
There always is that test, and
Yeah, it's
Raquel's great. And Raquel's going to have her time as champion.
Oh,
no
for sure.
doubt.
That's happening.
100%. We know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen right now.
No, not right now.
They were, and it's, it didn't diminish my enjoyment of the match in any way. I'm just saying it was predictable. I had zero thought at any point that Raquel was going to win.
That's the thing. But
I was still, but I loved the match and I was entertained.
You can always go. It's just the same. It's like you go to see a house show. You kind of know that if it's a championship match, the champion's going to win. It doesn't mean that you're not entertained by it, or you don't.
Exactly.
You can still have fun watching wrestling. Because there'll be moments in the match that are just fun or really good spots and stuff. Regardless of you might know the outcome, but it doesn't matter. You can still enjoy the match.
Yeah.
So, and that's exactly what that was. That was a perfect case of that. So
I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the outcome.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's going to lead us into the main event.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And
six matches on this card, and
really, I love me a good short card, but of all long matches. This is still like a 3.5 hour pay-per-view or PLE, whatever. But with only 6 matches, like everyone got a lot of time. And that's amazing.
Everyone got a lot of time.
Yeah.
Everyone got a lot of time to tell a good story.
Yeah, exactly. So
every single one of these.
I think 6 matches is a great amount. Like you 6 hours. Sorry, 6 matches with 3 hours is you're giving everyone all the time in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And honestly, I'll tell you the segments. If you complain about the segments are actually there's your bathroom break. Folks, a lot of people there are complaints about they putting certain matches, like the match before the main event was always called the bathroom break match. And like now they're putting some segments in there that give you that opportunity, because all you're doing is listening.
That's right.
You can listen from the bathroom.
Yeah.
You can listen. Don't be mad at these things. These are giving people opportunities to not miss the things that are important.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And to be honest with you, some of those ad breaks are so damn long.
Yeah, you need it. I mean, you need it if you got to walk 5 minutes to the bathroom and then wait in line for another 5 minutes for your concessions.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you need a long break.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of my praising of the segment. The intros.
Oh man.
Let's talk about the story and the intro.
Shinsuke. Well, first of all, I love the fact that they're doing now. So he's getting to do promos now in Japanese with subtitles. That's all I've ever wanted from Shinsuke Nakamura.
I want to hear him. Yeah,
just let the guy talk. We just give him subtitles. Then I know what he's saying.
They figured it. They finally figured it out.
That was that simple all along.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do in the. Obviously, it's hard to do in the ring.
Of course,
on
yeah.
On a live,
but I think his promos in that style are so much cooler than like.
They're so much more impactful because you get the emotion.
He's intimidating.
He's super creepy samurai guy. This like, I mean, yes, it was a very short story.
It was, yeah, but it was an effective one.
And I don't know if there's, yeah, and I don't know if there's, it's it's like a D&D one shot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think
story...
it's one of those ones where it's like, right, we kind of knew that maybe that Seth wasn't losing the title here. I think it could have been one of those Jinder Mahal situations where you're like, what?
I'll tell you, man. I was talking with other friends because I actually got to say it live, like for once in a while. I got to actually watch it live.
Yeah.
And I was talking with friends, and I'm like, I was worked into thinking I thought Nakamura was going to win. There were several times, and I was working myself into this because I'm like, oh, Becky's going down to NXT. I bet maybe Rollins is going to take some time off. Maybe he needs time off for just for recuperation, and we give Shinsuke give him a title run for a couple months.
Yeah.
Give him some,
Yeah.
Give him an off-season run. I was worked into it. I thought he was gonna by mid-match. I was like, shit, man, Nakamura's gonna win.
Yeah.
Nakamura's gonna win this.
Yeah, but there were moments there for sure. I mean, it was you're right. It's such a short story. It was only like a 3-week story, but I thought it was the whole whisper in the ear thing. Really got me intrigued because I was like, what has he said? What has he said to him?
Yeah.
So for a whole week, you're thinking, what could he have said to make Seth react that way? And when it brought in the whole situation with the back and that brilliant promo with the subtitles, it's like him sneak attacking Seth it felt like he had Seth's number basically. It felt like he felt like the kryptonite for Seth.
It was one of those I've been biding my time. This is my perfect opportunity to strike, and I'm going to take it. I'm glad there wasn't any cash in shenanigans with the match.
Yeah.
I wanted to just see the match, and it was a beautiful match.
It was a great match. So good.
It reinvigorated it. I've had a lackluster response to my fandom with Shinsuke has waxed and waned at certain times. But this 100% brought me back into this is just like Rollins even kind of in character said this is the Shinsuke I want to see. I'm this is the Shinsuke I want to see. The evil. An evil, nefarious,
he's a bit
maniacal.
Yeah, he's a bit off the chain kind of thing. Yeah,
yeah, it's like it was, and they used something to create a bigger story. That they used the whatever his kanji tattoos on his back were as a tie-in as a tie-in to your bad back and lifting the burden and as a I guess it was a samurai thing that they leaned into with the
manga
putting you
stuff
out of
at
your
the start was great.
Yeah, putting you out of your misery when it comes time it's my it's a duty and honor to put you down.
God, man, so good.
Kind of thing.
So pro wrestling.
I loved it because he went in 100% on it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw after the pay-per-view went off the air. I saw it on the YouTube page, but
I didn't see anything.
So Shinsuke attacks him and keeps attacking him. The refs and everyone has to come out to try and stop him from doing so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was he kept coming at Seth, and Seth was being helped to the back by the refs, holding his back and everything, but he kept attacking him. So I don't think this is over by the looks of things.
No, it very well may not be. Yeah. And that'd be great too.
Yeah.
I would totally watch it again.
Well, there's something I feel like maybe we could see Shinsuke win the title, but then unfortunately, well, it depends which way you look at it. Shinsuke win the title, but then Damian Priest cash in on Shinsuke.
Maybe.
But I do think that regardless, our next longer term World Heavyweight Champion is going to be Damian Priest at some point, because we have to have the Judgment Day with all the gold. It has to happen.
Yeah, but I don't. It's very. I don't know how to get there. I don't know how. I really don't see Damian Priest as winning the title yet. So so I don't know how long he could hold out. And it could again be me working myself into my fantasy booking of somehow Finn somehow Finn Balor gets the briefcase.
Ooh, maybe we could have him cash in, but then Finn cost him the match, and then Finn be kicked out of the Judgment Day.
There could be, and
then JD McDonough brought in. There's so many ways you can play this.
Let's let it. I just want to let it simmer with what they've got right now.
Yeah.
Because the world, I think there's more to. I think there's just more things to play with here.
Yeah.
They've got the story of where does JD McDonough fit into this right now, because he's not in the Judgment Day, but he's obviously hanging around.
But obviously with the fact, so I'm thinking now of the fact that he obviously helped them quite a lot win those tag team titles. Maybe he'll be let in now, but who knows? But
have you noticed that he's never directly helped Finn Balor?
True.
He has helped. He helped when he was the one that he pulled the referee off when Damian was going to get pinned.
So that could either be one of two things. It's like it could be one because he knows he already has the trust of Finn Balor. Because,
it could be right.
Or
he might not have had to save Finn Balor.
There's more to it than meets the eye.
Or there could be more to it than meets the eye. Yeah. But he always came out like when he was coming out to help Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Finn wasn't the one. Finn wasn't in the match. It was when it was Dom and Damian.
Yeah.
JD came out to insert himself, and Finn wasn't there.
Yeah.
So there's these little things going.
Yeah.
But anyway, back we're still back to the title, the match. The end of that, it just brilliant. We don't know where it's going. It could be more. There could be more Nakamura versus Rollins.
I'm into
it. Very well could just be. It could be as little as Nakamura trying to get in the way of anybody trying to get. He might come back and just beat down anyone that tries to step over him again, and we could just get Nakamura versus Rollins as three matches. Well, he's beaten him once. If he wins again, or if he faces him again, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would love to see another Nakamura Rollins match anytime.
Yeah,
anytime it makes sense. Man, it was like you said earlier. This premium live event was excellent top to bottom.
Yeah. Once again, I don't know, man. 2023 has just been such a damn good year for PLEs, man. And with Survivor Series War Games coming up, and Extreme Rules at the end of the year. Like, I think the next one's Fastlane as well. We're gonna have a lot of good stuff. It's just this year's been so damn good, man. So damn good.
So if you're listening to this and you haven't watched Payback, do yourselves a favor and go and watch every single one of these matches. They're excellent.
Yeah.
If you have watched it, then tell us what your opinions on our takes are, and if you've got your own, obviously give us your takes.
Yeah.
Good or bad. And we'll see. I think we'll try to wrap it up without going in circles. That's how we're just going to end it.
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, I've got to give the call to action. I was told to give the call to action at the end.
What's that?
So the like and subscribe.
Right.
If you like the like and subscribe
to the podcast. And click that bell.
Like and
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. We'll find our own catchy way to do it. But yeah, man, just a reminder: if you like what we're doing, click on the buttons that show us that you like it and share it. Share
you find us on Instagram at Punks Talk Wrestling. If we're on Spotify, you're probably listening to this there already. But if you're on Spotify, go to the profile page and click the star and just mark us as 5 stars because that helps us.
Yeah, mark it, even if you don't like us.
Even if you don't like us, mark us as yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, 5 stars means 5.
5 star. It gave 5 stars of hate. 5 stars of hate.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but do all those nice things. That'll help us plenty.
Yeah, and we'll be back here next week. Shit, what are we doing next week? Do we even know?
We don't even know yet.
No, we need
to figure that out.
Let's look at the wrestling calendar because Payback, the next pay-per-view listed
is Fastlane.
Well,
we got No Mercy,
according to
NXT
Wikipedia,
No Mercy
there's
first.
NXT No Mercy.
Yeah.
Now, do we want to? When is that? That is September 30th, which is. That's a Saturday. That's a Saturday night No Mercy. So this is.
Okay.
That's a big. That's
Oh,
a
that's
big deal.
actually. It's in an arena. It's actually a proper thing. Okay.
That's what I mean. It's not a Tuesday night NXT time. The Tuesday night NXT just glorified NXT show.
Yeah.
So maybe we shoot for that as a live watch along. If you think you might be able to watch it
when
live.
is the?
It's Saturday the 30th.
Saturday the 30th.
I've got no shows.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it's so far ahead that I haven't got anything.
I have it slated as it's a day that I'm going to be working at my mom's house.
Yeah.
But that's during the day. I'll be back. If we're doing a live watch along recording.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, let's put that. Let's put that on. Let's put that on there. Yeah. Because either way, if we don't. Either way, you and I are going to watch it if we can watch it live, because that's something that you and I were doing a while.
We were doing that with all the NXTs anyway. Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we were doing that with a lot of the NXT takeovers.
Yeah, we were.
And I, we meant to go back and do that. That could be a whole other thing that we do at some time too.
Yeah, exactly.
This could also is a good way for us to bring in NXT into what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The good thing about NXT, the arena events they do, essentially they're takeovers. They should just start renaming them again, but they're quite sporadic. They don't happen too often. So maybe we can make a thing of just having these as our live watch-alongs, because they're not every month. They're like every so often.
Yeah, that is the NXT ones are the NXT big events.
Yeah.
Are every so often. So but the next WWE pay-per-view is Fastlane.
Yeah.
That is October 7th.
Uh-huh.
Which means that is 1.
Well, that's quite a way
2,
away, isn't it?
3, 4 for us to do if we do the review of that. The way we do the reviews of paper, that would be on Tuesday the 10th,
mm-hmm.
which means we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 weeks.
Oh wow, we do, don't we?
In between.
Well, how's about we got 1 week, which would be kind of you introduction weeks.
Yeah, we can do. So let's make a list of what we want.
Do we want one episode for the both of us, or one episode each?
No, I think it's one episode for the both of us, because it's just you and I talking about how we met.
Right. So
and we can bring into the fact that, like, we've gone to WWE. You've visited America, and you're coming, and you're going to be here at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I guess it's a past, present, future type situation.
Yeah, so we can. Yeah, so maybe one of that. Now that we've got a few under our belt, that could be a good way to pull some people in. And it'll just be a general discussion of our history of professional wrestling, and our friendship, and how this all
came about.
How this all got started.
Yeah, okay.
So that's going to be one of them.
So we got the unpopular wrestling takes. Which I think is a good one. I just feel like we might need a little while to research that, just to get a good, what we're going to exactly bring to the table with it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that will take some time. That you and I will take some time the next week or two to figure out. So
we can also do we could always do a No Mercy throwback, like rewatch.
Well, or a
Fastlane.
So that's one. That's a good. Yeah. So we should do, if we're gonna do, I would like to do what we have done already, and that's so we'll do since No Mercy is going to be NXT, and we're going to try to do a live watch along.
Yeah.
Let's pick the Fastlane. Let's pick a Fastlane to review.
The good thing about No Mercy is that No Mercy goes back all the way to 1999.
Yeah.
And there's only 5 fast lanes.
Including this year's? Or
Give me a second.
let's see. The fast lane. Okay, let me go to fast lane.
Oh, 6. Oh, this is the 7th, sorry. So there's 6 before this one.
Okay, so there's 6. No, I think that's perfect because that's a D6.
All right, cool.
We bring back our D&D.
Let me get a D6 and let's get this.
You want to roll the dice because I don't have any of them within arm's reach right now.
Here we go. I've got a big fat one here. So we got Fastlane 2015, 2016, 2017, 18, 19, and 21 because there wasn't a Fastlane in 2020 apparently. All right, here we go. So I rolled a 6. That is last year's.
Hey, all right. Hey, no, that's great. That's what it is. The dice, we roll the dice, and that's what it is. I think it's going to be awesome because that's Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Universal Championship.
Second here. This may be
with Edge as a special guest enforcer.
Oh, this is all right. This is last year. Sorry, it's 2021. This is 2 years ago.
2021, 2 years ago.
You know what's going to be great? This is going to be great about this. This is in the Performance Center. This is a pandemic.
WWE Thunderdome. This was
right.
Thunderdome at Tropicana Field.
This is going to be great.
This was still because this was March 21st. This was not in October. I love this. There's so much that we can talk about.
This is great.
We get to talk about the Thunderdome.
Yep. I'm looking at the card here.
So,
okay, cool. I like this. Oh wow. Okay, there's a great match. Okay. I'll put my phone.
What
away.
is this? Holy shit! Let me look at the card.
Second to last match. You know what I'm talking about.
The second. Wait, what? This happened?
Yeah. Do you not remember that?
I don't remember this happening at all.
It's during the. I don't want to say anything, but it's great. It's great. I
literally don't remember this happening.
Pro wrestling being pro wrestling at its finest.
What the hell happened? Have I never seen this? Have I never watched this?
You had to have seen it. What were you doing during the fucking pandemic?
What was
apart from watching wrestling?
2021. Yeah, what the fuck? How do I have no memory of this? I literally have no memory of Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton in an intergender match. I don't know how this happened. I don't know the lead up to this. Is going to be so great reliving this.
Yeah, I remember.
Wait, we had Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
No way. You're kidding.
It's match 5 on this card.
I've lost the freaking card.
Rollins versus Nakamura.
You have to be kidding me. That's crazy. What's the chances? Yeah. That's got to be the last time they face each other before now.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, they haven't. Yeah. So we're gonna definitely. So now we've got to build. Now we've got an even more building tension with Shinsuke.
Oh my god, we've got
Shinsuke.
We got Drew versus Sheamus in that no holds barred match where they kind of tear the freaking Thunderdome down. That's such a good match.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Dude,
we picked a good event here.
Great. I love the dice.
Dice roll provided.
Have once again given us a. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I have one note here that I wanted to mention that I didn't during the match.
What's that?
During the tag match, the dude with the sign, that had a sign on the rampway. My favorite sign of the night that I was the put Akeem's hat on Owens.
I didn't see that.
Oh, and I just. Because the visual of it just makes me laugh so much. Yeah, and if you don't know the wrestler we're referring to, it's Akeem the African Dream. Talk about a question, a bad gimmick from the past. Like
I think cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation at its most blatant. In the what was that, early 90s?
Yeah, early 90s.
Time frame.
Yeah. There was also another great sign. I don't know if you've seen the guy. You've seen Green Shirt Guy. Everyone knows Green Shirt Guy.
Yeah.
But have you seen the other guy? He's always got a Trinidad and Tobago flag.
Yes,
so
I have seen
they
him.
never sit next to each other, right? They never sit. They're always there, but they never. But this event, they were next to each other, right?
Oh yeah.
And there was a guy
nice.
with a sign nowhere near them that said, Trinidad flag guy is greater than green shirt guy.
That's hilarious.
And it just so happened to be sitting next to each other at this event. So that was,
man, I love that we have those people as well as the fans that because we had we've got green shirt guy, we had
long hair guy.
We had long hair guy and his mom for a while. We had that other guy. We had that other front row guy that was just like, how are these people always at these events in these seats that costing them hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars?
They're all just, but that's, I don't care, because if I had the money, I'd be doing exactly the same thing.
Exactly. I don't care how. I love that they are doing that. I love that they are. Those people have somehow made themselves part of the show without doing it, just by being there. Just by consistently showing up.
Yeah, and they're not doing anything that. Yeah, right. The only
they're
thing
not calling attention to themselves in any way whatsoever.
Apart from obviously, big neon green shirt. Yes, all right, cool.
Yeah, but sure. But they're not doing anything obnoxious.
No,
they're not trying to they're not trying to get involved.
In fact, green shirt guy is like one of the quietest fans. He's so reserved.
He just sits there and reacts.
Takes it in, you know.
Yeah.
I like.
But it's like, hey, if I'm gonna do, so kudos. So big props to all those guys throughout the years who have been those consistent fans,
staple fans.
Staple fans. Yeah, that's great. It's good to see. I love seeing it.
Yeah,
we miss it. We miss them when they're not there.
I just found him on Instagram, on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. His name's Superfan Smiles.
Nice.
And his bio says, wrestling fan. I attend many wrestling events. Neon green shirt, and in brackets it says, yes, I have more than just one.
Nice. I love it. Well, shout out to those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All right, that's it.
That's it. $350. Oh shit! I messed it up. Let's go back. Let's just try it again.
You tried. You did so well.
Yeah.